Thank you all. Welcome to our third workshop in a three-part series. Certainly, there's been two wonderful evenings of both inspiration and imagination, and so we're looking forward to this third evening. I want to welcome you all on behalf of the board and just briefly share again a bit about what a food co-op is. Our Dorchester Food Co is community and worker-owned, full-service grocery store. It's been collectively started, run, and owned by its members. I know that we have more and more people getting excited and joining as member owners, and so that's really great. Thank you all for promoting our store. It also offers healthy, natural, and locally sourced food alternatives. We've worked really hard to develop local partnerships with urban farms and other food-related businesses, and so being local is very important, as well as keeping money local. So again, thank you all for believing in this and for being with us tonight to continue to imagine and inspire and be inspired. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So very briefly, in a show of either virtual thumbs up or real thumbs up like this, can I see who is attending a DFC event for the first time? Any thumbs? Oh, welcome. Thank you, new folks. Virtual thumbs and real thumbs. And then anyone who has attended a DFC workshop or an event in the past. So great, great. Welcome. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, wonderful to have you all here. So I'm going to get back to sharing the screen. And I'm going to pass the mic off to Robin Saunders, another board member, and Robin is also part of the outreach committee. Take it away, Robin.
Oh, thank you, Miriam. Hi, I'm Robin Saunders, and just going to give you information about the vision and the mission of the Dorchester Food Co-op. We're a grocery store that is owned by the community, by its member owners, which is in the community and the workers. So we're going to be here to lift up the neighborhood voices to create a co-op that truly feels comfortable to our diverse and vibrant community. We're going to build an innovative public space committed to racial, economic, and worker justice that will enhance the health and well-being of our community. Cooperation is our approach, justice is our goal. And thank you for joining us.
Wonderful. Thank you, Robin. Okay. So, who are these two folks here on the left? My name is Miriam G, and Declan Keefe and I are both architects and community champions and cooperative organizers, and we are your designers for the Dorchester Food Co-op store at 191 Bowdoin. Maybe I can have Declan unmute himself very quickly so you can chat or directly if you have any tech problems.
Hey everyone, today I'll be on tech support, and you'll also see me in a little bit to walk you through some of the design. So remember this face because it won't be a stranger anymore.
Thank you, Declan. It looks like Raleigh is having some technical issues. Maybe he will get back to you, Raleigh, so you can stay and participate. Maybe you might have to reconnect and reboot. All right, so the workshop framework that you may have heard referenced is what we call at Co-Everything community-driven design. And so for workshop number 1, we called it Inspire, which was about brainstorming as many different ideas as we possibly could. We had over 50 folks participate in the workshop and an additional, I think maybe 40 responses to the survey about what could make the Dorchester Food Co-op an innovative public space that goes beyond just a grocery store. And then in our second workshop, we called Imagine. Co-Everything collected those ideas and distilled them into 8 different themes. And then within workshop number 2, Imagine, we presented each groups with one of the different 8 themes, and we brainstormed individually on those themes. And since then, we've also shared that survey out with the general public and have gotten great feedback, which has led us to kind of narrow down to about 3 predominant themes, which we're going to show you today, which we've then focused into our schematic design. So this is our first interpretation here of what the store could look like. So some context is a recap from workshop number 2. We will be looking towards a grand opening of early 2022. We have a 10-year lease with Viet Aid, and all of the budget is going to come from our own capital campaign, which Ashley Mack will tell you about at the end of today's call. We are renting the space at 195 Bowdoin Street, which is the corner of Bowdoin and Geneva. We have 6,000 square feet for the front and back of the store. We have access to the community room, plaza, and open space. And this is about placemaking in Dorchester, but we're also addressing the regional food system. So it extends way beyond just Bowdoin and Toplift for us. So in workshop number 2, the themes that rose to the top out of the 8 themes that we discussed were, how might we imagine the Dorchester Food Co-op as a full-service grocery store that has a focus on produce and bulk goods, less packaging, pay by weight. You can come in and buy however much you want. And you could come in every day if you want and just buy something for the day. That is an expression of our community. So this means culturally relevant foods and events specific to folks who live in Bowdoin, Geneva, who live in Dorchester, that is vibrant and welcoming to all. And then also something that's come out of these first 2 workshops is this inspiration behind having a cafe and lounge area, like a seating area, be part of what makes the Dorchester Food Co-op go beyond just a grocery store. It's a place where you can meet your neighbors, bump into people you know, have a casual chat and enjoy a place to sit and connect with others, other members and other neighbors. We also did an exercise called Design Favorites, where we compared different looks from different food co-ops and other spaces. And these are the results that have inspired our schematic design. So in the top here, we have the Hendersonville Community Co-op in North Carolina. So shout out to folks in North Carolina who are joining us. And this is a much bigger store than we will have, but folks liked the lighting and the layout and that you could see across a lot of the store all at once. This is the Seward Community Co-op, and this is their bulk section. So folks liked the variety of choices and that there was a counter and some space to write things down. And it seemed very organized. We also talked about having your own containers that you could use to avoid using plastics. This is an upcycled cafe with books, and people liked the idea that it was a place that you could sit and connect with other folks and maybe have a learning exchange and share recipes. And this image is of a food tree, which was a bit inspired like a growing center. There might be green space alongside all of our produce departments, and people liked the organization of this display. So another thing that also came up, but I didn't have room to fit in here, is the wall mural. So that seemed pretty popular. So moving on to what we're doing tonight here in workshop number 3. We are inspired by what we heard and saw from the community over June and July. And we have imagined a schematic design that Everything is going to share with you. And this is a sketch of what the store could look like. It's not a final design, this is just the beginning. Then we'll break out into groups of 4 people or less, and we'll have a focused discussion around the sketches that we are sharing with you guys. And from the feedback we get from y'all in the breakout groups, we are going to evolve the design based on our collective feedback and the technical requirements such as the business pro forma, the market study, and building code requirements, accessibility, and so forth. So even though we're sharing all of this feedback with each other in this session, there's still going to be ongoing opportunities for folks in the neighborhood and whoever you know to also put their feedback. You don't have to be here in this call right now. So for those of you who haven't seen this already, and thank you, patience to those of you who had, just a reminder, this is the exterior of the building at 191 Bowdoin, which is owned by Viet Aid and is hoping to break ground in September 2020. It has 41 affordable apartments, and then we are the ground floor tenant, which is right here at this bottom area, this whole glass area. That's going to be our space. That's where we have 6,000 square feet. And so we are all on one floor. It's one single floor. We have 12-foot high ceilings. And this front yellow area is about 54 feet by 84 feet, which is about the playable size of an outdoor basketball court. So don't think like indoor court with all of the stadium seating, just the part that people play on. We also have the back of house, 2,000 square feet, and the front of house is the 4,000 square feet area. So the main entry is here on the corner, and we also have some covered space in the front along Bowdoin Street. And then we have access to this shared open plaza here. The residents to the building enter here, and then we also have access to this community room, which is about 750 square feet. So, moving on. So this is the wonderful floor plan diagram and the first sketch that we are excited to share with you. We have some color-coded zones that represent all of the different departments in the store. So the ranking of the departments comes from an exercise we did in workshop 1, where we determined what are the favorite departments that everyone's really excited about, so that we could make sure the store was tailored to our neighborhood, our owners, our market. And we also have designed this in general for 3 different experiences, like full-on grocery shopping. You're going to come to every single section of the store, or maybe you're going to come and, because we heard a lot of folks emphasizing produce in bulk, just come for produce in bulk. And then since we also heard people talking about it as a place where we like to hold workshops and events, or just meet friends and hang out, maybe you'll come and attend just to come to the cafe or the events. So let me go ahead and zoom in. So here we are coming in off of Bowdoin on the corner entry, and there's a little shopping cart zone in the front. There's the checkout station, and the cafe also doubles as checkout. We have this whole green area with all of these little refrigerators and carts. That's for produce. This area in the back is bulk with this wrapping L-shaped counter. And then in the center, we have grocery and global foods, which again will be reflecting what's culturally relevant here in Dorchester and in Boston. We have some baked goods that are going to be baked off-site by local folks. That's also on the back side of the cafe. So you can also buy baked goods from the cafe if you're having a seat and meeting up with friends, or you can buy them while you're shopping. And in the back corner of the grocery store, we have wellness and home goods. And we have 2 restrooms, which can be used both by grocery store customers, folks who are using the cafe, and then it's also close to the staff area so that staff can use these restrooms as well. There's going to be some dairy and refrigerated goods here. And then along the right side of the building, we have meat and seafood, frozen, and then grab and go, which is positioned near the front so that if you are hanging out in the cafe and you wanted to get a bite to eat at grab and go. Okay, so I see Jeff is asking that the slides are small in the Zoom window. Jeff, I think maybe Declan can help you out with that with an answer. Okay, so, and what does this mean here? This is a breakdown of the linear feet and square footage of the different departments in our store. So when you're doing a business pro forma and a market study for your food co-op, you are going to translate the amount of linear feet of shelving into your sales projections. So this is our breakdown for our store. You can see The majority, almost close to half, is grocery and global foods, which is pretty typical. And then the next largest section is produce. And for ours, it's pretty close to typical, but we went a little heavy, more on the produce, because we heard that's what folks wanted. Local, organic, fresh, healthy produce, and a large variety of culturally relevant foods. And then the bulk department also is the next largest, which is also related to what we heard as feedback. And then each of these other departments are smaller, which is a little bit closer to the breakdown. So as we have a limited floor plan, you can see that we're not offering like a full service butcher counter, and we're not offering like as many things that a large supermarket would have. But on the plus side, we are also offering 800 square feet of cafe and seating, because we found out that it's really important to our members to connect to each other. And then if you were wondering about the back of house, we have loading and receiving, which is alongside of the parking. And a lot of this space back here is dedicated to walk-in coolers, backstock, freezers, dish prep, egress stairs, a staff locker room and janitor closet, and the office. So I'm gonna pass it off to Declan, who will give us a walkthrough in 3D, which might help us understand some of these spaces a little better.
Hey everyone, so hopefully you can see my screen now and you're seeing some three-dimensional images of the space. One thing I do want to reiterate before we venture our way through the co-op for the very first time together collectively, which is exciting, is that this is just the very first iteration of this, and that we're asking for feedback today because 100% of the things you see could change. And just because we see it in model and it maybe looks like it's getting to something that could be complete, it's not. So with that said, I'll walk us around the space. So we're standing right in front of the entryway, and right in front of us here would be the shopping carts, and what you'd see sort of beyond that is the cafe. You can see through this wall because this wall actually will be glazed. So there'll be glass there. And then the first view you'd actually see would be right in front of you here, which is, this is the checkout counter, or we might call it the welcome station. So as you're sort of walking in, someone will be standing right in front of you to welcome you into the store and help you find the things you want. And then beyond this, what you'll see is this whole section here, which is sort of green on the ground floor, here is all produce. And beyond that is the bulk section. So walk through, we can sort of see here, all of this would be glorious vegetables and fruits surrounding us, and will smell great and look beautiful. And then we'll see this whole long wall of bulk here, and it turns the corner. And so we go up, we'll bring our jars and whatever and fill up with all the goodies of rice and so on and so forth. And if you wanted to, you could then move back and say, oh, I came to the co-op today because I just shop daily to get my produce in bulk, and I'm going to check out. And you'd walk back down the hallway here, check out, and you could go on your way. If you were doing a bigger shopping today, you could turn down the aisles and you'll see all of the sort of global food section and more of the sort of boxed goods and groceries, and you'll walk sort of down the few hallways of produce and of grocery, and you'll see then the refrigerated section. So we've got our dairy and refrigeration over here. There's a little section off back here, which is actually the wellness section over here. To our right, behind this wall, is actually where the bathrooms are. So you'd go down this little hallway that we see here. And then behind us is more of the refrigerated section and freezer section. So there'll be meats and seafoods sort of in this blue section here, and frozen goods. And then the yellow little chunk that you see on the end would be prepared goods, prepared food. So we purposefully located it here in the current iteration of this design, because the idea is that you could sort of grab something from the cooler here, which is also near this sort of bakery section, which maybe will be taller than this, but sort of giving you the idea that the bakery is connected to this cafe counter, which is nearby this prepared food section. So you could walk in from the door where we started back over here. This is the checkout counter again. And you could come down this aisle and pick up a baguette and maybe a prepared salad over here, and then loop around into the cafe where you see a bunch of seating. Maybe they'll have some seats that are a little more comfortable than what we're showing here. And you'll sort of turn the corner and you could talk to someone back behind the counter at the cafe and order a drink and sit down and hang out with your friends in the community. And there could be a checkout counter here for groceries if you were shopping in addition to going through the cafe. And then you'd come over and you could say goodbye to your lovely welcome and exit clerk. And we'd end up back at the door and we'd be sort of walking out. And it brings us back to essentially where we started. And so there's the first full loop that we've collectively done through one iteration of the store. And don't worry if you didn't catch 100% of what we said. We've captured some key views of this that you guys will be helping give feedback on in the breakout sessions. So Miriam's going to walk you through that stuff now.
Great, thank you, Declan. And I hope everybody had fun. I would give thumbs up and claps for that. That was pretty fun. So we're gonna look at a few images next, and these, like Declan said, are gonna be part of our breakout group exercises. So the first view that we're going to show you is, let me get my little pointer out, is going to be kind of right here, looking into this produce and bulk area. And then the second view we're going to give you is from the corner here, looking back at the cafe and seating. I see someone asking, is there a teaching kitchen? Tom and Diane, we do not have a teaching kitchen in this space. However, I did want to point out that we have access to this community room over here in this side of the building that includes a 4-burner stove and in-wall ovens and is ADA accessible, and we can check that community room out whenever we want to do various kinds of demos and then also workshops. So great question, thanks. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into these next images that we would love to get your feedback on during our breakout sessions. So these are a couple of sketches. Again, like Declan said, nothing in this design is final. This is our first interpretation of what we've heard throughout the June and July, you know, many collective voices that we've heard in the workshops and then also in our surveys and feedbacks. This entry view is showing a focus on produce and bulk with the cafe to your right. So you could see when you would walk into the store, like Declan was showing, you would have all of this lovely local produce, some organic, some conventional, and maybe some photos hanging up that showcase local farmers. You know, these are pictures from folks at Putney Co-op, so that's not our farmers. It would be like Apollo and Liz and Bobby and Nataka at UFI, you know, things like that. And we hope to have some warm colors and pendant lights inspired from the Hendersonville Community Co-op. And then this great big bulk section, which is going to be, you know, I think the only bulk section available in all of Boston with this many choices with spices and global flavors and dry goods. And then these kind of 3 shelving units back here would be for the grocery and global foods, which would be culturally relevant selections that, you know, are from, that you can't get anywhere else. And we are hoping we could have maybe some cut flowers or pick your own herbs, as there was a lot of inspiration around the Dorchester Food Co-op as a growing center, the checkout counter, and then also the cafe here. Both of those act as cashier stations and also like welcome stations. So maybe your food co-op worker owners are also like ambassadors greeting you when you first come into the store. And in the back here, you can see the wall that has the refrigerators with the grab and go, frozen meats and seafood and so forth. And around the corner is where you would meet your neighbors and sit and talk. So keep that in mind. We'll be looking at these like with a magnifying glass when you're in your breakout groups and asking you all for feedback. It's very open-ended. We tried to keep these sketches pretty loose, which is why they're all black and white and kind of boxy and simple, because everything is kind of like open to us reimagining the details of how this is going to come together. So again, this is from the corner of the building on Bowdoin Street. So you're standing with the glass against your back, looking at the cafe and seating in front of you. And what we're looking at here is that there's a visual connection to the cafe. So the cafe is not completely cornered off from the rest of the grocery store. It's a part of the grocery store. It's in the front so that you could see it when you are walking by. That you can see beyond the cafe, and then maybe you'll see some local mural artists painting the walls or columns. That might be part of the aesthetic. At the cafe, you can get some tea or baked goods, and the bakery section is right behind here. Maybe some books and plants for ambiance, and then colorful tile floors, and then the grab and go, as Declan said, right over here so that you could have something to eat. So this is the inspiration board, and this collection of images represents the overall look and feel that we're going for with the Dorchester Food Co-op. And this was very much a community-driven process of how we came to some of these images. So we've got a color palette here on the right that you can see is informed by kind of all of these images put together, maybe some interesting display carts and greens and things growing and murals. So just keep that in mind when we are doing our breakout groups. Okay. This is an ongoing process of community outreach for community-driven design. So you can share this link, bit.ly/DFC-repeat with your friends, neighbors, whoever. And I'm going to edit the survey to just take out all the stuff about asking Miriam for help in the breakout room. And then it just becomes a regular exercise where people can leave their comments on I like, I wish, and what if. So Robin will send you all a follow-up email, but just wanted to let you know, this goes beyond the Zoom room. So since we haven't got to hear from each other all together, we're gonna do this one amazing exercise called Mentimeter. One thought that you had from I like, and we could get into what ifs and I wish, but we wanted to end on a positive note. So Marcus and I were like, yeah, let's go for the I like. So anybody can share any I like about the DFC store design that they saw in the past 30 minutes to an hour. And then we can start to see everybody's voices come together. So the store feels alive. I like the big bulk area, lots of bulk. I like the bakery. I like that you enter the store into the produce area. I like the welcome station. I like that there's books in the cafe, that there's an open space and it's not crowded with plants and books and it feels alive. I like the open space. I like the grow market and the bulk section connected to produce. Also, if folks are having trouble popping this into Menti, you can feel free to drop it in the chat and Declan will pop in your message for you so it gets recorded. I like all aspects of the store design that include local artisans. Great. I like all the herbs. I like the bakery. Okay, cool. So has everybody had a chance to do that one? I like the option to host the classroom session, the herb garden. Bye, Joy. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna do one more, which is actually a word cloud, where we're asking you in 3 words, what excites you personally about the store design of the Dorchester Food Co-op? And this is kind of like a beginning and an end. We started this in our Imagine and Inspire workshop saying what excites you personally. And so now it's not just about the DFC, it's about the store design of the DFC. So as everyone starts to enter in words, if you enter in the same words, the word will get bigger and bigger. So community is obviously shining up front. Cafe, representation, community representation, accessible, food justice, bright, global. In the chat, we got bulk, 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 yeah. And colorful, bright, global, inclusive, artwork, organized, wonderful, wood, Hope that the community room is well used. Library, artists, wonderful. Okay, thank you everybody. Immigrant, health, roof garden, green. This is really great. So, on that note, if everybody's had a chance, can I get a thumbs up from people if you've had a chance to submit something in the chat or in? I do see some thumbs. Okay, I think we've got a strong majority. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out of that. Thank you very much for sharing with the whole group, everybody. We're actually going to save those results and they will be sent out to everybody over the email when we get back to it. And so now, just to close out, I'm gonna just pass it off in a minute here to Liz. Just a moment. I have to pull up my other slide deck. Okay. Here we go. So Liz, take it away.
Hi, everyone. So thank you all so much for coming. This was really fun. Thank you, Miriam, Declan, and the team for putting this on. We wanted to end with ways to stay involved. Bye, Lydia and Steve. Thanks so much for coming. First is to sign up to volunteer. So this is a community effort. You know, the decisions aren't made with just a small group of folks. So we definitely welcome more and more voices and more hands on deck. You can email us at info@dorchesterfoodcoop.com. We have several different committees that you can join, as well as just, you know, one-off kind of events as well to help out with, or, you know, individual ways to help out. So that's number one. Number two is to become a member. So you can join on dorchesterfoodcoop.com. There's also a paper application. So if you'd like us to mail you one, let us know. And this is important because members joining, we call them member owners, because all members own a part of the co-op. This is not just a new grocery store. It's a community-owned and worker-owned grocery store. And, you know, to have an opportunity for ownership and have your input weigh as much as someone else and not have someone pay more to have more input, right? It is quite important, especially in Dorchester, at least, you know, folks in this project feel so. And becoming a member is important because we need 1,000 members by store opening in early 2022 to show that we have community support. So right now we're about 850 plus. So I believe we're on track. And yeah, in about a year and some change, we will need 150 more. And I think we'll get there and hopefully surpass it and show that we have way more than 1,000 members who are interested in this project and willing to see it become a success. So number three is to connect on social media. So Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, those links are there. Robin and Emma, who are on this call, are doing an amazing job keeping those updated. And also our YouTube, which will be showing the recordings of these videos. So keep an eye out for that. We can drop that in the chat soon. And number four is to stay tuned for a quick introduction of the co-op board of directors and the capital campaign initiative that's coming up soon, starting soon. So yes, please email us, please visit the website, please like us on social media, and stay tuned. If you like us to reach out to you for any of these things, please leave your email in the chat if you have to head out. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna pass it off to Miriam and Ash.
Great, thank you so much, everybody. Okay, Alba says maybe my screen is twitching, but hopefully we can hold in there just for this last slide. So thank you for joining us. We are at 854 member owners. Declan and I are members. We hope that you'll join too. So we're aiming for 860 total member owners by the end of August 2020. It's a really easy goal, so invite a friend. And I'm gonna just give this last slide over to Ash. And we know that the whole, so 8 o'clock is just coming around the corner. So for folks who, you know, are going to step off right now at 8 o'clock, thank you for joining us. This is your chance to walk out and say goodbye and get in touch with Robin and Liz and Marcos if you need to. Drop your name or email in the chat if you want us to reach out. Otherwise, we're going to take from about, you know, 8 to 8:10 to introduce the Dorchester Food Co-op board. And for those who want to stick around, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then allow everybody to meet each other. So here we go. Last call. Step out if you'd like. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. We had a really great time. Okay, take it away, Ash.
Okay, thank you, Miriam. Hi, everyone. My name is Ash. Can everyone hear me? Excellent.
Yes.
So my name is Ash, and I'm a member, owner, and volunteer with DFC. These plans are really exciting, especially when I saw the 3D rendering and we did a little bit of a walkthrough. In our breakout group, we talked about how much we love the space and the layout, and especially those blue tiles. And that was brought up quite a bit in our breakout group. I can't wait for this vision to come to life. So I'm here to talk with you all about how we can help bring this vision to life. First, I'd like to take a moment to introduce the board of the Dorchester Food Co-op. So DFC board, if you can unmute yourself right now so that when I call your name, you can just say a quick hello. So on the board, we have Marcos Veleche.
Hey, folks. Good evening.
Hi. We have Apollo Catala.
Greetings.
We have Jenny Silverman.
Hi, everybody.
We have Maridana Rojas. And she may have dropped off the call by now. We have Robin Saunders.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
And finally, we have Liz Wang.
Hi, everyone.
All right, thank you, DFC board. So let's talk about capital campaigns. We do want to make sure that this community source vision comes to life. And to do that, we will need funding. There are a lot of expenses involved in opening a grocery store from scratch. These funds will be used for designing the store, like the schematics we saw from the breakout groups, constructing the store, furnishing the aisles with equipment and inventory, and much more. It will take $2.5 million to fund the co-op to store opening. This will come from grants, loans, preferred shares, and charitable donations. In a couple of months, we will be launching a direct public offering to give member owners and Massachusetts residents the opportunity to invest in the co-op. This is the core of our capital campaign, and it's a great way to be a ground floor investor and really help a community-owned startup like DFC to keep money local and really disrupt the traditional food system. Your support will directly help with constructing the store's envision in these workshops that we've been participating in. They'll also help with hiring employees and an equitable wage and training employees, partnering with like-minded food vendors, and basically everything needed to make the co-op a reality. We'll also be accepting charitable donations. We also want to be thoughtful and intentional during this time. It's really an extraordinary time to be raising money, but we have seen some co-op mentors and organizations that have had successful campaigns. Fredericksburg Co-op recently raised $1.8 million in just 10 weeks. And most recently, Oshkosh Co-op was able to finish their $2.5 million campaign during COVID-19 and the shutdown. So we're really inspired by their success, and we're confident that working with these mentors that we will reach our $2.5 million goal. And speaking of goals, we're aiming for 100% member owner participation. It's a high goal, but we really believe that we can reach our goal and we can make the co-op store a reality if everyone pitches in. So we hope you'll join us and keep your eyes open for more information in the coming weeks. Thank you so much for sticking around to this point. If you have any questions about the capital campaign, I'm happy to answer them now. And if you're interested in learning more about how you can help make the campaign successful, you can throw in your email or phone number in the chat, and we'll reach out to you. And you can also email info@dorchesterfoodcoop.com at any time, and we'll get in touch.
That we did a first round of a direct public offering campaign several years ago that got us to this point, and I want to thank, there are a number of people on this call who participated in that round, and we wouldn't be where we are today if we hadn't had those investors then. So we thank them very much, and looking forward to the next round. And you know, when we say 100% participation, we know that people can participate in different ways, and so at different levels based on their ability, and at every level that people can participate will be welcome.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Ash and Jenny, and to the board again. This is it, guys. We'll be sending out lots of follow-up information. So if you registered for the Eventbrite, that means we've got your email. So you'll be getting the follow-up survey link if you're on the Dorchester Food Co newsletter. If you're not, again, please drop your email in the chat, and we will for sure send out the survey, because we want everybody to weigh in and participate in this community-driven design process, and we can't wait to make this store come to life. Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Everything, and Alba and Efe and Declan and the team. Thank you to the Dorchester Food Co-op board. Cooperation is our approach, and justice is our goal.